everybody. My name is Amy. I am your food educator, speaker, and author of The Hidden Consumer, Uncovering the Power of Health Conscious Buyers. Like trying to find the right camera angle
Got it.
now. There we go. Today is the final day of April, and we're going to round out April with the last segment of Sjogren's Awareness Month with Dr. Rebecca Lobo. And Bexi, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay, I'm Bexi. I'm a scientist, writer, and small business owner. I own a skincare business called Bexi's Bespoke Revitalization, where I use whole foods to revitalize your skin so you have proper functioning, healthy skin.
Yay!
And I also raise awareness for Sjogren's disease. So I'm grateful to be here with you, Amy.
And we've got such a great topic that is bringing everything full circle for you, but for everything else going on right now. And I originally said we were going to talk about the myths around Sjogren's, but we changed that up like very last minute. And we're going to talk about infection and healthy skin. Because I think a big part of Sjogren's is really how do you keep your skin moisturized and how do you stay really a healthy, balanced skin level for being able to manage all of your symptoms. So talk to us a little bit about Sjogren's and infections. And then before we leave, I want to talk about like your products, because you've got at least 3 products that look like they're really based around hydrating and moisturizing skin. So we'll talk about those as well. But let's start with just tell us about Sjogren's and infections and what can happen.
Okay. Well, infections are the number one way that Sjogren's patients die. So that's that is the main way that we die. We're very prone to infection for multiple reasons, right? We have dysfunctional immune systems.
Yeah.
But we also are immunocompromised because most of us are missing the protective fluids that our body produces to protect us against microbial infection. So, in case you didn't know, your tears, your mucus, your saliva, your sebum, the oily, waxy substance on your skin, all of those fluids contain antimicrobial proteins that protect you from infection. And in Sjogren's, most of us are missing saliva or tears or sebum. We're dry. We don't have enough of those fluids. And so we're missing one of our levels of immunity, right? Which makes us more prone to infection. And then many of us are also immunosuppressed because we're taking drugs to manage our immune dysfunction. So for all of those reasons, we are prone to infection. And then once we get infected, because there are no treatments for Sjogren's, and because a lot of how we manage Sjogren's disease is through diet and lifestyle measures, when we get sick, it's often very difficult to keep up with all of those other lifestyle measures, right? It's hard to keep stretching and keep hydrated if you're constantly nauseated. um,
Yeah.
and so that then compounds the infection, because now you're not only dealing with whatever the infection's bringing to the table, you're also dealing with all of the other systemic manifestations of Sjogren's that are not being managed appropriately while you're sick with the infection.
It's like, and it's so common with so many people with chronic illnesses too, that you have so many things on top of another and they fight each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Or they add to the burden, right? They're
Yeah.
synergistically combined together to make all of your symptoms way worse. I've
Yes.
experienced this many times. So
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to raise awareness of this, because I think a lot of patients don't recognize, I didn't recognize for a long time, the impact that having healthy boundaries and having healthy barrier systems in your body has on your chronic inflammation and your overall health. So when you
Yeah.
have a functioning, healthy barrier that works appropriately,
Mhm.
you decrease stimulation of your immune system by the environment. So you
Yeah.
don't get this chronic inflammation from your environment, right? You're not constantly triggered. You're not always breaking out in hives because you're exposed to fragrance or whatever, right? You have less of that. Um,
Mhm.
And so then you have less chronic inflammation. You have less chronic inflammation. Your health is better overall.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I know, like, with the food education side, that's a huge part of what I tell people too, is a lot of how we nourish ourselves comes from the food we're eating. And if we're not eating and drinking the right foods, we're not gonna maintain our health. Like, I have primary lymphedema. Coffee does not help the lymphatic system. I really need to be drinking water.
Is that because coffee is a diuretic, and so it dehydrates you? Is that why it's not good for
It's
your?
No, so for me, in my case, it was, really when it comes down to coffee, it's the way it's processed, and it adds my allergen, which then I become inflamed with it.
Oh, I see.
So it's
Okay.
not necessarily always the coffee, but I know I just
Okay.
bought new coffee today, and I'm like, "Dang it."
Okay.
Like, "Oh, my sleeves are feeling a little tight. I'm gonna have to get the compression sleeve out again."
Oh, yeah. Gotta love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is there more about infections that people with Sjogren's have to be aware of? What are some of maybe the symptoms they should look for that they know is impacting them?
I would, in my case, so with infection, a fever, swelling or redness, um, anything kind of out of the ordinary. Oh, here's something
Yeah.
interesting. So if you really learn to listen to your body, and this is how I know, if you listen to your body, you will get a craving. You might get a craving before your infection. So in my case, before I get infected, or before the swelling, the fever, any of the symptoms show up, I will get
Mhm.
an intense craving for chocolate chip cookies and heavy whipping cream, a very specific brand of heavy whipping cream that is from cows that were regeneratively, like, their farming practices are such that I suspect that their cream is really high in vitamin D and vitamin A. I haven't tested it, so I don't know. That's my hypothesis. Um, and so a couple of days before I get sick, I will get this craving. And or a couple of days before I'm going into a flare and I'm really fatigued, or before I PMS and it's really bad, I will get this craving. And it's kind of like my body's saying, you need the antioxidants from the dark chocolate. And it's a very specific brand of chocolate chip cookies, right? Not any old chocolate chip cookies. It's like the very high end, nutrient dense ones. I can't just go out and buy Chips Ahoy. Those will not do
Ooh.
anything for me. Yeah. And so it's a very specific brand, and my theory there is that your body knows when it's about to fight an infection, and it's
Yeah.
gathering up the
What it
resources
needs.
it needs to fight the
Yeah.
infection. So when you listen to that craving and you actually eat that food, um, you are nourishing your body and preparing it to fight that infection well.
Yeah.
And so that's another sign that I have learned to look out for within myself, where I go, oh, I just have this craving. It's such an urge. And I had to learn how to distinguish between the craving and the binge eating, right? And the emotional
Right.
eating, because there are
Yeah.
all of those things that come into play until you really learn to listen to your body and you learn to
Mhm.
go, okay, now I'm craving this, but it's more an emotional craving
Yeah.
that I've learned. And if you learn to unlink from that, and you've unlinked from all of the other social and emotional cues for eating, and then you really pay attention to, like, okay, this is a metabolic need my body
Mm.
has, and so I'm going to go whole hog. I eat the whole packet of chocolate chip cookies, and it's good that I do, because you know what happens to me when I get an infection? I will not be able to eat for 2 to 3 days.
Oof.
And so that's
That's
why when I get that
Ooh.
craving, I give into it, because I know I will be so sick that I will not have an appetite. It'll be hard for me to eat. And I would rather
Have something.
have those nutrients in there than be
Yep.
weak, and my body doesn't have what it needs to fight the infection, to repair from the infection. and to function during the infection, right?
Yep.
And so that's why I'm always talking about nutrients provide your body with the building blocks your body needs to
Yeah.
function properly, grow, and repair. And when
Yeah.
you learn what that looks like, then you don't feel bad about eating the whole packet of chocolate chip cookies, because I don't do that on a regular basis, right? It is
Right.
seriously my cue for very specific things. Food is medicine. So I use it as medicine before an infection,
Yep.
before when I'm PMSing, when I know that my body's low on energy and it needs,
Needs more.
yeah,
Yeah.
or when I'm going into a flare.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder too how much the body needs that natural sugar boost right away too, just
Yes,
to get over, and then you'll have that nutrient information,
yes,
stored
yeah,
after that sugar's gone. Like, because regular sugar is not like the lab created, that's the sugar that we see in almost everything that Americans eat, doesn't do us any good. Like, it
no,
doesn't even really give you like if you eat it and crash and burn like within 30 minutes, it's doing you no good.
exactly,
Natural sugars have a longevity to them in your body because your system knows how to break them down and use the different aspects of the sugar. So
yes,
yeah, I wonder how much of it is that just needs an instant boost to get that fight really started.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Now I'm curious because yes, there are definitely cravings I have
Yeah, cravings are
before
really
flare.
interesting,
Yeah,
and we have such a diet culture where, especially women, we're taught to, I've been taught to judge that craving and go deny yourself those chocolate chip cookies and that heavy whipping cream. I drink half the little, it's like a bottle this big, and I will pour it over the chocolate chip cookies like it's cereal, and I will eat it.
yes,
And
go.
yeah,
I love it.
but for a long time I judged myself for that, and I would deny myself that until I realized, oh, the pattern is it happens every time before a craving, I mean before an infection.
Yeah,
And so maybe this is this is not just willy-nilly me binge eating. It's not unhealthy, right?
right.
And that's where when you put like the value judgments on food, it's a good food, it's a bad food, it's a clean food, it's a dirty food, it's
Yeah,
like, well, one man's food is another man's poison.
yeah,
So context is very important. And
yeah,
in the context of you're about to go into this life-threatening infection, that packet of chocolate chip cookies is not a bad thing. It is
yeah.
life-saving at that point.
And you can't like, and so many people don't get that. Like, it's depending on what you are dealing with in your health is really going to alter what it is you need for
Yes.
your body to survive that moment in time. And I think too often our modern day medicine has taught us this is for everybody, but
Yes.
one size does not fit all. We are
Correct.
individuals. We need a personalized plan that works. That's
Yes.
yes,
That is why my business is bespoke, right?
right? Yeah, it's
Because
all
every
about
person
you.
is different and our
Yeah, and how
needs are all different. So,
yeah,
how can what works for you work for me?
right.
Because our genetics are so different, our epigenetics is so different,
Yeah,
um, our where we are, our environment is so different. So, what works for you is definitely not going to be the same thing that works for me.
right, right.
But there are we take we take the science, which is nuanced, and then the media and influencers make it very black and white,
Yeah.
and none of it is black and white,
Nope,
right? All of it is very
nope.
gray, and you really have to do the work for yourself to
Yeah,
understand your own body and to understand what your needs are, and they may not align with the health guidelines because you're very different, and the health guidelines were made off research from people that don't look like you, right?
yep,
That's the other thing.
yeah,
Like, a lot of the research was done on white males.
right, yeah,
I'm
that's like no
definitely not a
one.
white male, so my metabolism and how I respond to an infection is going to be so different.
Yes, and they get us all the time, don't they?
Yes.
But going back to your products now,
Yep.
so there were 3 products on your site that I thought sounded like they might be beneficial, and let me know which one is actually gonna be the most beneficial, but you have a product called Body Milk, you
Yes.
have Purifying Moisturizer, and then we have the Cleansing Hydrator, which we've talked about before, but
Hmm.
are those all 3 of those good for when you're dealing with, like, trying to keep healthy skin, or is there one that's better than the other?
What a loaded question that is, Amy.
That is what I'm
You
known
know what
for.
I'm going to say, right? It's all bespoke. So every single product in my line is going to work to some degree,
Yeah,
depending on where you are on your what your skin's needs are, where you are in your health journey, um, what needs to be done to your skin, what your lifestyle is, how much energy you have to put into caring for your skin will dictate which products work best for you, right? So that's why I offer free skincare consultations because, yeah, you could try and guess based off just the description,
yeah,
which you could try a product. But that's not going to work as well as me assessing you and working with you to make recommendations. And because these products are not just symptom band-aids for your symptoms, and because they're working to actually restore nutritional status to your skin and then encourage your skin and your skin microbiome to work together to be more sustainable and functional, your needs and what products you use will change from week to week or month to month, and how
yeah,
much you use of each product. And so working one on one with me will give you the best results, because as we're checking in and doing the experiments on you basically to learn about what your skin really needs and learning the language of your skin, because your skin's speaking to you at all times, right? When you have that pimple pop up, when you have the rash, when you have the flushing, the sudden redness show up, that's a message. That's a message
yeah,
that's reflecting your inner metabolism. um so it's very hard for me to say, oh yeah, this is the one size fits all product, because it's not. And all of my products are multi-purpose and multifunctional. So
yeah,
the way you use it for your skin will be different from the way somebody with actinic keratosis, precancer, will use it. It's very different
yeah.
from the way somebody with dry skin caused by Sjogren's will use it. Very different from the way somebody with acne will use it. That same product, the purifying moisturizer, can be used for all 3 of those conditions, but how you use it and when you use it varies.
Yeah. Yep. That's why I love your product line.
Thank you.
Like it's and I mean, generally speaking, it works for so many people, but it works differently based again, like we talked about so many times, your skin type, right? I mean,
Yes.
people are spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on products every month from like these big counter cosmetic places, but they're paying people to damage their skin. They're
Yeah.
not working to heal the skin, which is really
Yes.
at the core of everything that, that's whole food based. And it's all about how do we get back to our body's balance? What should we be at? What should we do to, so just love it. So on the screen, I have Bexi's URL link for her website. If you are on the Shop app, you can also look for Bexi's Bespoke Revitalization to pull up her store in the app. And I highly, if you want to talk to Bexi about your skin profile and products that are good for you, I do believe the link is on your website to schedule
Yes.
with you. Correct? Yep.
Yep, it's under
Yep.
Contact Bexi. So my URL is bexiphd.com. Excuse me. And if you go to the Contact Bexi tab, you can schedule a free skincare consultation with me.
Yep. Highly recommend it. You won't regret it, and you'll learn so much about you, your skincare routine, and how you can actually make your skin better so that you look younger as you age.
I'm not selling that part because
I
I
am
am.
because you know what? It is so true. Like
It
it's
is true. Okay, here's the thing.
from
But I'm so anti-aging, right? Like that whole
Mhm.
thing of, oh, you have to look younger. No, you have to look
Right,
your age, but
no.
you get the best skin you
Benefit.
can at the age
Yeah.
you're at. And what
Yep.
usually happens is you end up looking younger but that's
We-
not one of my selling points.
No, it's not. No, it's funny. It's because it's the same thing with food. And when I started my journey with my skincare and having to switch everything out of from those big cosmetic counters,
Yeah,
we were going to, oh, I need all natural. We're going whole food ingredient based.
yeah,
It was amazing how what I thought were wrinkles were actually being created by the wrinkle cream that I
yeah,
was using from one of the main counters. Like,
yes.
as soon as I stopped using it, the bags under my eyes and my wrinkles went away,
Well,
and
yeah.
people don't
So
realize that.
here's
So
an interesting story about that piece. That is part of their business model, right?
it is. Yep,
Where if you solve the problem, you no longer have a customer.
yep.
So if you have to kind of keep that customer coming back for a little bit more and a little bit more. And that was what I learned as I was trying to solve the problem for my customers. And I'd go to all these small business mentoring groups, and they'd always tell me like, oh, well, you've got to dilute your product and change your packaging and do this, because otherwise you're not going to keep your customer. If you solve the problem, you won't have a customer and you won't have a business.
I want to solve the problem, and I wanna be put out of business.
Yes. And so I have a terrible business model, but it's okay because I believe in what I'm doing.
Yeah,
And having been on the other side and being that customer who was frustrated with
yeah,
buying and spending thousands of dollars on products, and then the pain of putting yourself through all of those products that never work, that cause more rashes, that hurt,
right.
that sting, that burn. And you're just like,
Yeah,
I've wasted this much money and this much time on this product that did not work, and now I have worse skin and no one can help me get back to where I was.
yeah.
I didn't want that to be
I
what
didn't,
Bexi
yeah,
is. So
yep. I
that's why
get
I
it. I
offer the free consultations and the free help. Once you purchase a product, you have ongoing
support.
free consultations with me.
Yep, yep, I love that, I love that. So I highly recommend check out Bexi's, page, contact her, get, on her calendar and talk to her about your own skincare routine, and if you're curious to learn more about foods and the marketing behind a lot of the foods that you think are healthy but aren't, and wanna learn more about how to safely shop for groceries, check out Hidden Consumers Consulting at hiddenconsumersconsulting.com. And with that, thank you, Dr. Bexi. This has been a fantastic month. I cannot wait for us to do more collaborations like this in the future. I'm going to
Maybe.
find a way. I'm going to find a way to find you to get back on my show.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, and let us know if you have any questions by dropping them in the link or in the comments.